Jim, here in late 2018, we just passed a milestone in the way people save for retirement. It was 40 years ago that the 401k was created through an obscure section of the tax code. In fact, it didn't take off. People didn't start 401k plans immediately in 1978. It took a couple of years before companies realized what this little loophole could do, and started plans for their workers. And now it's something like 90 million Americans have 401k plans with, I believe it's about $5 trillion socked away. It's been a sea change in the way we save for retirement.
It has, and it has been primarily a blessing for people. They can save for retirement. Also a little bit of curse in here, because employers use the 401k as basically something they could give the employees while they're taking away their defined benefit pension plans. Those that send you a check for life, no matter what. And you know, I work as a volunteer tax preparer for low-income old people, low, moderate-income old people. And it amazes me the number who are coming in 70 years old with these old defined benefit pension plans that check every month. And I can see from their finances that that's what's keeping them going. It's disappearing, being replaced by the 401k. The next generation of old people aren't going to have those checks every month.
Unless you work for the government, which most
people
public
don't.
sector workers still have, have a pension.
And the darn thing is, people are not saving enough in their 401ks to save them. If you look at people age 54 to 65, near retirement, the median in a 401k is only 66,000. That's not going to get you very far in retirement.
Well, I mean, a couple of problems with comparing it to the old model. I mean, one is, there was never a time when even half the workforce had access to a defined benefit pension plan. Today, about maybe 59–60% of workers at least have access to a 401k. They don't all use it, but have access. It was the old pension model also didn't work very well if you change jobs often, which many people do nowadays, because you had to work for a long time to get even vested. And it really started to build up after you'd been at an employer for 20 or 30 years, and if you didn't stay that long, you didn't get very much. So for people who change jobs, for people who are good savers, this has been a very positive change. And by the way, we made some changes in recent years that have made it better than it was in the early 80s when the first 401k plans were created. Index funds, low-cost index funds, and emphasizing those have brought down the costs a great deal, as have some lawsuits brought by a St. Louis lawyer, Jerry Schlichter, who looked at companies that were kind of overcharging their workers. We've had the default, since a 2016 law was passed. Companies can default their workers into like a target date fund that will be good for them, and they'll put in a certain percentage of their pay unless they opt out. And we know from kind of behavioral science that most people will not opt out. So that's increased participation a lot. And that said, there still are some flaws. We could still improve. There's still a lot of people who don't have access to a plan. It would be nice to do something for them.
And not only that, because you have to choose your own investments. Most people don't know how to do that. I mean, they're not financial pros, but you rely on the customer. That's why target date funds are excellent. You pick the date you're going to retire, you pick the fund, you let them manage it, become gradually less aggressive, more conservative as you can get old. The smartest thing you can do if you're not a sophisticated investor is to choose the target date fund.
Right, and that was I think a major innovation. Those things are low cost. They will get you to your goal if you diligently save.
That's right.